Alright, and welcome back to another Age of Empires match. I'm your host, FR Christmas in Purple, and I'm just going to bring you another 3v3 Age of Empires game. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm not going to have individual grades because it is two teams, so I am going to not do that at the end. But it is a team of three, yellow, purple, and green versus blue, gray, and orange. So kind of the top half of the map versus the bottom half of the map. Some things to note. This is the map called Gold Pit. You can tell it gets its name by the sheer number of gold and stone in the middle. And then there is a few gold patches by everyone's starting position. There's some right here that I did not see till like the very end of the game. And then there is a little bit of stone by each player. So the big push at the start will be in the center. And we'll just kind of give you a brief overview of each player. Like I said, I am in purple, and I am the Celts. Next up, we have Ahanel, and he is the Spanish in blue. We have Bluesif in orange, and he is the Byzantines. We have Tony in gray. He is the Mongols. We have Iceberg in yellow, and he is the Chinese. And then lastly, we have Milzie, the fan favorite, playing as the Slavs in green. So we will speed this up a little bit. We are, as a group, a little bit used to playing Fortress, so we are a little trying to branch out and get to some new maps. Let's see if we can get some boar lures in the beginning here, and hopefully I can find a textbook boar lure, and I can show it off to everyone here. Let's watch. See, he's getting that boar, and he's bringing it right into the town center. Maybe it could have been a little bit closer, so it could be directly in the town center. So that is a pretty good one. I was really struggling finding my boar at the beginning. Mine was right here, and we'll kind of go over the relic positions. I think the top team, which is purple, yellow, and green, got a pretty big advantage on relics. There's one right here, and there's one right here. So two in between, and then the third one. So basically, three of them were easily accessed and on the top team's side. And then there's one in the middle here, and then one at the bottom, right by orange. So something to keep in mind that they definitely had a big relic bonus. Relics probably didn't have a huge effect if you get the middle, because you have all this gold, so it doesn't really matter. And you can see that blue is the first to head in there, and he is going to start trying to build up. Shortly followed after, we have green going in, and we're going to kind of see a big conflict in the middle. So we have an early skirmish between purple and blue. You can see my fog of war. I did not know there was going to be a lot of people down here. So I started building these barracks. I knew this would be really important. Basically, whoever could control the beginning and control this middle area was probably going to have a huge advantage and was probably going to win the game. But you'll see as time goes on who retains that, and we'll keep on there. All right, we have a pretty good wall out of green. He is kind of walling towards his ally, though. Maybe he could be building that wall towards the bottom. And we'll kind of see this build up. We have two purple barracks, and I was able to clear out since I was ahead of blue in tech, so that was a pretty big bonus. Clearing out these houses, clearing out these town centers. We also have a buildup of gray, maybe a little bit more communication out of the bottom team allies just to get this all set up, but it really was. We had a pretty big green buildup. We had some yellow buildup right there, and this is really going to set the tone for the game. Something that I'm really excited about is we're starting to have a few more battles that are not just Imperial Age only. I know when we play Fortress, it's kind of hard to rush and fight other people in the early ages, so I'm glad we are branching out and trying to play some new games and get some new tech involved. But yeah, just the coordination between the three teams on the top was really kind of showing here. We also have a forward attack by blue into purple. And this is pretty smart. I mean, you know, all of the purple forces are tied up in the middle. You might as well go and see if you can take care of some of the eco at the main base. So it was really a tough balance to see, should you push all of your people into the middle and get all the gold, but that really kind of leaves your resources and all your villagers at home unguarded. So just trying to clear that up. That was definitely a good push out of blue. Let's kind of look at blue's base right now. He's got a few archers, and he's just trying to boom. Maybe some more aggression out of the bottom three would have been good. We do see that since I know that blue, I just had a lot of units die up here, or they were in my base. I decided that hey, I should go in and try and push through there. Celts also have a bonus of if there's any cows or sheep in their line of sight, it will always be theirs. We also have some trade building up at the bottom between orange and blue. Then we have trade going between the three allies at the top as well. So just kind of a little bit of a skirmish at the beginning. Nothing super interesting. Yellow is kind of moving its main base into the middle area and is kind of hoping to avoid what happened to purple there and try and move everything closer to the center. We do have a pretty big buildup of forces in the middle by purple and green. So just trying to secure those. Let's look at orange here. Let's see what he has in these stables. Orange is starting to build up. He's got some archers. He's got some knights building a town center, getting ready for a push. We have a pretty good army out of gray. Maybe he could be using that to harass or take care of one of his opponents. I do believe we just missed an attack out of gray, and that is why there's some dead horses and a tower being built right there. So I guess he was doing that. Ooh! That is not good. A lot of villagers just standing around. I hate to see that. But, you know, probably just something he's working on. We have some cataphracts being built up by orange. We have a castle being built by purple. And let's look back at blue. Maybe could have killed these cows. They got the extra 150 food for free. Might as well. Let's look back here. Not really much going on for yellow. Is securing that relic. We do have 2 relics being captured by purple. And then that 1 relic is in the process of being captured by green. So something to note, this relic was not noticed right away. I thought that was pretty interesting. And you can just kind of see how it really kind of blends into with the snow. But, I mean, just barely missed. All right, we have one of the first pushes of the game being made by orange going into attacking this middle castle. Let's see if he knows there's a castle there. No, he does not. But he knows there's something. Definitely a good idea. Try and put some pressure on the center base so we're not just mining all of the gold out uncontested. So I definitely like this push. Maybe some communication with the other teammates. I know we don't do a ton of team battles, so this is something a little bit new. Maybe some support could have turned the tides. We got some troops right there, and we have some more rams being right there by blue. So maybe something to consider in future games. And now we are just kind of seeing a build up. We got another yellow castle. We've got a few green troops, and we're getting a lot of mining time. Just a lot of mining being made in the middle, which will definitely compound. I did try and raid a little bit of yellow's forces. Definitely could have maybe microed those a little bit better. And let's look back at blue. All right, it's doing pretty good. Maybe it could be building a little bit more military. But then again, you're just trying to focus on your economy at that point, so it is pretty tough. We got some nggillies right here in the middle, and maybe a little bit more aggression out of gray would have been a good thing. And I say that he's attacking, so he's reading my mind. But yeah, this is definitely a good tactic. Try and get the villagers not to be just uncontestedly getting those resources. And we do have a little yellow base. A lot of trade going on, which is good. Basically, you don't need a ton of that. Let's see how much gold they're getting From there to here. So you're getting 128 gold. I mean, that's a lot. So definitely a good move out of orange. You know, you don't really need all this gold in the middle if you're just trading. All right, I'm going to speed things up a little bit more. Looks like there's a little bit of a lull right now. People are just trying to build up. Look back at Gray. He's definitely booming. Maybe he could use a little bit more production. We have some purple knights trying to attack there. And yeah, we're just kind of looking through here. I did try to send some villagers to try and mess with the trade line. I knew that would be good if I could disrupt it, but there is a random scout right that happened to see him, so that was pretty unlucky for me. But I was trying to kind of mess with that. All right, we have some conquistadors being built. Conquistador is definitely very powerful if you can get a huge mass of them. And looks like we have a few horsemen going in here trying to kill some miners. Definitely a smart move. And you can just kind of see we're really building up in the middle here. So it's going to be harder and harder to take down as the game goes on ultimately. We do have another bit of a forward base out of blue right next to the purple main base. So kind of a little bit of evening up. We do have a push being built, or a siege workshop being built. Have a few of those conquistadors being built here. And we'll kind of go to my fog of war really quick. I knew that I had to put some pressure on somebody. I was just kind of waiting around, trying to get these rams fully upgraded, trying to get my troops upgraded. So that was kind of my mindset. And I wanted to put pressure on the person that was closest to me because they already attacked me a few times. I noticed there was a castle there, so I decided to send in my troops and try and clear out this castle and anything else I could. At the same time, Blue sees it as a good opportunity. He does something very interesting. He does a bombard cannon rush. And I have not seen this tactic being used before, so I thought that was pretty clever. And he's just kind of slowly building bombard towers forward and forward, kind of let them do the brunt of the damage. We do have some rams out of purple being built here. Maybe these guys could have helped kill this town center. But ultimately, I'm being rated pretty hard out of blue in here. I don't really have any army up here. That's where most of my eco is. So I was really focused down at the bottom. And I was trying to get some kills in the main town square. So we have a lot of there. Sorry I missed this. I wish I could rewind, but gray does completely clear out yellow here. But yellow did anticipate this, and he moved most of his economy into the middle here. So kind of a lot going on. I apologize for missing that. I'll slow it down. We do have a lot of troops dying to green forces right here, moving forward. And then we do have another push at the bottom of purple going into blue. So a lot of back and forth. I was pretty nervous. I wasn't farming at all at this point, and I was trying to rebuild a bunch of farms right here as quickly as possible, and I was trying to move my 2 relics. As you can see, gray is slowly moving up here and killing a lot of yellow, and you'll see that these rams are very quick. Those are the Mongols rams. They are very fast. All right, we have a lot of bombard cannons and a lot of bombard towers being built. So a lot of idle villagers. So that is an interesting strategy, kind of tough, and we'll see how it works. I did send a few rams out there. They don't take a lot of damage from siege, from bombard towers. We do have another little skirmish at the top here, and between green, yellow, and gray. And then obviously those nggillies are just gonna kind of run rampant around there. So here we have I am getting popped at the moment, so I was trying to rebuild. We do have a slap in the face town center built right where I used to go, so that was kind of frustrating. And then we do have gray and yellow kind of clearing out those troops at the top. So definitely a lot going on. Sorry I missed some stuff. Definitely wish I could reload. All the trade is stopped. And then at this point, I was trying to decide the top team was team I was on. Like, all right, we need to focus, and we need to fight something. We have another push out of orange coming in the middle here. Maybe if these cataphracts were a little bit more closer to these siege rams, that would have been very beneficial. But there's a lot of pressure being put on the top team, so they're doing a really good job trying to retake the center. And we have the monks, the monk guard here, trying to help. At the top here, blue, maybe being a little bit more aggressive would be good, trying to clear out and kill some more villagers. And then we have these rams fighting. Maybe the really only thing missing from this orange army would be some trebuchets. I do see he has 2 right here, but if those were firing alongside of those rams, probably could have taken down this castle. And then maybe a little bit more communication with his allies would have been helpful as well. So blue does take a left here and is fighting this green castle. Definitely a lot of bombard cannons. I did decide to build a castle inside the trade line just to try and kind of mess with them, get them off their feet. They're definitely pushing and doing a pretty good job at that, I might say. At this point, there's more bombard towers being built. That's a lot of villagers. And then Gray is going to clear these out. And he does prevent another castle from being built pretty close for purple. You might say that was a waste of resources, but we just have so many gold and stone. You know, what did I have to lose? Not much. So at this point, we have another push being out of blue right here, and we have another push out of orange at the bottom. So definitely a good strike. Maybe if Gray was assisting with this push, it would have been a lot more beneficial. Just trying to look. Looks like most of his army is down by these castles, so definitely serve their purpose. And then we have yellow here trying to clear out these many bombard cannons, which they're being replaced faster than they're being destroyed. So looking at this, we do have some trebs and bombard cannons being made out of orange. Looks like we do have some flanking going on, trying to get this trebuchet. Will it work? It does. All right, worked out pretty good. So a pretty strong push. I'll slow things back down. We do have some purple rams going into blue, and yellow is slowly kind of mopping up these bombard cannons. Not much ground support out of blue at the moment. Maybe it could be building more infantry. That would be well. We do have another push out of purple into blue. I knew I had to make them blue do something other than just slowly attack us, so I put those over there. And then yellow and green and purple were able to push back the orange attack. Definitely killed out a lot of buildings, did a lot of damage. It's at 480 health, so definitely a great push out of blue and orange into the center. One cool thing that blue maybe could have done was research the tech that gave their villagers plus 10 damage. So that could have been a pretty good upgrade. Doesn't look like he has it at the moment, but maybe in future games he could build that. So just kind of a rebuild going on in the middle. We have more bombard towers being built, and then all these bombard towers are being cleared out by yellow. And then as you can see, I am working in the process. Purple is clearing out these bombard towers as well. So let's kind of look at a quick recap of everyone's base. Blue is kind of spread out, lost some town centers, a lot of farms being built. Orange hasn't been attacked much, but they have done a good amount of aggression into the middle. So here is his base right here. And he's got a little base in the corner. And then maybe a little bit more army out of Gray. Let's see what his population. So still not at max pop out of Gray. Maybe some more units could be built. Obviously, he's got a lot queued up, so he is working on that as well. Maybe a little bit more aggressive with these. Mongols have great siege, so maybe something for the future. Yellow's original base is completely gone and has been moved into the middle, something that he did anticipate. We do have some more raiders coming at the top here, kind of just trying to kill some eco. Green has been pretty untouched. He is working forward and fighting off those gray attackers. And then purple, I was damaged pretty heavily. Got a few farms, few towers left, but not much other than the center here. Okay, a lot of villagers walking around. So we're just really trying to rebuild in the middle here. Since we did take those pretty big losses, I'll speed things back up. Things will slow down a little bit. We are trying to clear out some of the remaining of these blue towers, and just trying to clear this out. So that is what is going on at the moment. We do have a little bit of a yellow attack into gray. Looks like he did kill him. What are those guys called? Nggillies, but they are running away. Obviously, he shouldn't be underneath the castle. That is a smart move. But those nggillies are pretty annoying, so they are going to chase those yellow knights around. We also have a monk. They are trying to get this relic. We'll see if these guys stop him or not. We'll keep a close eye on that. All right, I'm going to go into real time. We do have another push, a new bombard tower being sent into the center. So definitely trying there. Let's see, what's going on with this? What's the fog of war? Okay, they're safely guarding that, but they do not get the relic. So maybe not the best out of green. Maybe he could have snatched that up. But, you know, things happen. We do have another push out of blue. Blue is sending in some forward towers. Definitely was surprised on how many bombard towers he's built so far. Looks like he is pop blocked and he doesn't have a ton of resources coming in. A lot of villagers, wow, there's a lot of them up at the front here, solely focused on building towers. So not, definitely an interesting strategy. I like it. I like the innovation, but maybe not the best one. And then it is unfortunate. I mean, the bombard cannons only do like 1 or 2 damage to siege rams. So you would think they would do more than that because it is a cannon, but nevertheless. All right, we have another push out of orange, trying to clear out this castle with the bombard tower. We have some wood raiders going in. Will they get the kills? Oh my, so close. All right, 1 life left. So we have another huge push going on. We got some purple guys going here. We do have some nggillies going and fighting and being microed against those other knights. But here is the main battle. Maybe Greg could have been a little bit more involved with the center here. That could have been the tiding. That could have changed the tides of the war. Unfinished castle or unfinished tower. And those Chokunu warriors, they're pretty strong, especially if you can amass a big amount of them. Definitely could have had some better defenders out of these rams. I kind of just sent them up there and hoped that they would take down these buildings. So not the best decisions out of me. I was really focused on defending this castle. It was down to like sub 90, and there is just a wall of bombard towers being built in the mine. So definitely something that I needed to be focused on. And this just kind of shows there's been a lot of fighting going on in the center here. Very interesting stuff. And then we do have a push, just a lot of rams out of green, just going in and clearing out blue. So maybe some people out there. I do see there was some skirms probably fighting orange at the top, but I mean that's just a lot of rams to be unguarded and unkept. All right, we have some towers being built and destroyed by purple and yellow, and slowly being killed by these wood raiders. And the wood raiders they can be rebuilt, they can be built out lightning quick. But I don't know if they're the best against. They do get an attack bonus against buildings, but I don't know if I would classify them as the best against that. Maybe some more communication between. Looks like orange is coming to clear out these rams, but I mean that did take a while. They probably lost a lot more buildings than had to. And we do have some green workers down. All right, green units down here, so that's pretty interesting. We'll speed things up a little bit. Let's see what Gray's doing. Here's Gray's base. Definitely, let's check out his population here. So he's at 200, so might as well be using these units to fight. Because once you're just amassing resources, you might as well spend them when you have them. And you can see in the middle here, there's a lot of castles being built. This is kind of the first attack against orange out of the top teams. So blue is kind of spread out. He's got a few economy in a few places, so I wouldn't say he's in the best position. But there is finally some forward aggression out of the top teams, and they are trying to clear that out. We do have some nggillies being microed and killing individual champions. Maybe that could have been a little bit more productive. Maybe a blessing and curse for Gray. He knows he can kind of outrun anyone, but at the same time, it is pretty, time sensitive. You got to really focus on doing this, otherwise they're really not that good. All right, we do have another push out of purple. Not the best push. Could have used a lot more defenders. Those cataphracts easily mow those down. Where those nggillies go? All right, yeah, you can see these nggillies are just running around, killing any villagers they can see, causing havoc in the eco. At this point, as a collective, we decided that I was gonna build purple. I was gonna build just a ton of trebuchets, and then it was kind of the other two teams' sole job was to defend the trebs. It's like, all right, I'll send the trebs to slowly destroy these towers. The bombard towers don't do a ton of damage to trebuchets, so I knew they could take a few hits from that. And this is definitely a good push out of Gray, trying to kill those siege units. He does get a few, but this is just really the great communication. We have all three of the top teams on the top here working together, and we only have kind of a few uncoordinated attacks, I would say, by the opposing team. Maybe if all those horses would have came in at once, that would have been better. Maybe Gray could have built some more forward production to help out his allies, but just I think right now we're seeing, look how much gold is left and how much we mined out. As time goes on, the resource advantage will only lean towards the team that has the gold pit. So we do have a continuous battle going on, slowly clearing out these buildings, and that's just a lot of military. Maybe those nggillies was helping the top teams inadvertently by killing villagers, so they could free up and build more troops. I don't know. Maybe an unintended side effect. And we just kind of see this big mass going in. Kind of hard to slow down all these trebs, all these units. Now we do have some forward buildings being built. There is a castle, a blue castle on the bottom right here, that we will have to turn our focus to. And, just slowly clearing these guys out, trying to defend the trebs. These nggillies are pretty good at killing trebs, but there just wasn't quite enough of them to get the job done. At this point, blue's kind of rebuilding. Looks like they're trying to rebuild houses. We have a few monks right here watching these sheep, making sure they're all right, and just kind of slowly but surely clearing out these bottom players. And then we have another blue buildup at the bottom right. All right, we do have an attack here out of Gray. This is a pretty good attack. It's always good to do a counter punch. Maybe some more defense for these rams would have been good, but you can kind of see. They're clearing out castles. Maybe some more focus fire out of these trebs, but sadly there is just a lot of swordsmen down here defending the main area, just because that's where the production buildings are. So maybe some defense out of that, some more defense out of there. Purple, we finally turned our tide down to blue after they've been attacking us for a much large portion of the game. And these rams are just so fast. trying to get away from these swordsmen. And, you know, they're just slowly doing their work. We do have some green taking down some of the trade at the bottom here. Not a bad play. And eventually these towers, I mean, there's just so many castles. Even though they do have 195 pierce armor, I mean, eventually it's gonna be the end of those rams. So definitely a good push, trying to take the attention away. We do have another attack going at the bottom here. We have some conquistadors, definitely a good counter to those trebuchets. So we're kind of going on down here. And probably these purple buildings could have been better placed. Definitely when I built them, I didn't realize there was going to be all that bottom stuff there. Alright, let's look back at Gray. He's got a pretty good center here. He's got some more troops being built up. Orange has been pretty much eliminated. Not many buildings left out of him. And then we are kind of turning our eyes on the remainder of blue. Blue is kind of stretched out on this entire side. But we do have a lot of troops being built up at the top here. So we got some good forward production out of all three teams here. Slowly but surely, kind of get rebuilt. I'm going to speed things back up. And it just kind of shows like how long the fighting has been going on. We can see that green has really cleared out a lot of trading. You don't see much trading going on anymore. So definitely a good move out of him. And we do have some orange counterfracts at the bottom here. So here is the next pushback against the castle. Maybe these conquistadors could have been focusing on this trebuchet, but there are just a lot of units in the way. So do get a few of them, so definitely a good defense. But there's just a lot of castles being built up in this forward tower. I mean, with just all the gold, huge gold advantage, I think it's just really starting to show what's going on. We do have another ram push at the top here, just trying to clear out some of these buildings. And you know, all these trebuchets got killed. I was like, well, all the trebuchets got killed. Well, I'll just send all my rams in now and see how that works out. We have another pretty good army being rebuilt out of gray. We do have a lot of onagers being built, which I have not seen any onagers at this point, so they're kind of out of my frame of reference there. And too bad these guys didn't have these defenders to defend these bombard cannons. They are pretty expensive. We also have another push out of orange going into the purple eco. Definitely a good play out of him. Not much left out of orange though. Let's go to his. So yeah, orange is hurting pretty bad. It's only got 38 people, not a lot of resources, and all of his production is kind of being wiped out by the top teams. But yeah, these guys are just killing all these villagers. Definitely had no idea what was happening, and that was definitely a pain. So definitely found these last orange troops, orange buildings, kind of wiping those out. Now we're just kind of focusing on rebuilding the army and getting ready to push against gray. So gray, definitely, I like all these onagers. That's definitely very spicy. The other enemy teams definitely weren't expecting it. And it's kind of at the end of the top teams. We have some more eco killing being done by gray and orange, but maybe a little bit too little too late at this point. At this point, orange does resign. He has no more villagers, and he doesn't have he just has no villagers to rebuild. And at this rate, it would have been tough to come back being in his current position. Now purple is just kind of trying to clear out the last of these blue areas. I mean, we've killed blue so many times, and they just keep rebuilding in new spots. So that was definitely something we were looking for, trying to find out where the remaining blue areas were. And now gray definitely has a good team composition if it was maybe a 1v1. But it's really tough to fight, obviously, 3 people. And it's going to be tough to to stop that many. We are kind of running to the end of the gold in the middle, but we'll just kind of do a quick resource overview really quick. As you can see, I have 17,000 gold. I was definitely hurting on food the most of the time. Bluesif, yeah, he's out of the game. Boutelle definitely has a lot of resources left, only hurting on gold, which makes sense because there wasn't a lot of it and not much trade is happening anymore. Iceberg, he has a lot of gold, a lot of food, and a lot of wood, so that's definitely going to be helpful. Milzie, he is hurting on gold actually, and he has nggillies attacking his monastery, and it looks like he has no villagers left, so that's definitely not good. But the real fight's probably down here. We'll kind of speed this up. Nggillies coming in, trying to kill out the siege. Definitely a good call out of gray, but there's just too many troops in the way. It's gonna be hard to stop them. We have more bombard towers out of blue. Definitely something I was not expecting, and just the sheer number of bombard towers. Plus these onagers, we'll go in real time. They just are moving quick. It's too bad onagers. I mean, their ultimate downfall is their medium is their range. Once you get like 1 or 2 units in there, it's pretty tough to have them survive. I'm not sure if the Mongols have access to the siege onager. Maybe that would have been interesting to build, but I mean, the siege onager upgrade is so expensive. That kind of makes sense why Gray didn't build it. Maybe if he had this center, he could have upgraded. At this point, you know, just kind of slowly clearing out Gray. Gray is trying to steal this last relic at the top here, so that is kind of his final mission. We have more bombard towers being built out of blue, and we do have some rams coming at the top. So, kind of the last push of the game. Looking like it's kind of over for Gray, trying to get that relic at the top here, and just with time, slowly gonna kill out. We have some more cataphract being that were reserved over from the earlier fight, but this many units, it's gonna be tough to stop. That is one of the downsides of team-based games. If it becomes unbalanced, it's kind of snowbally, where once you start winning by a lot, it's kind of hard to catch up if you're the other team. So that's something to keep in mind. We do have Gray trying to build a castle to defend its monastery, but it looks like he was ultimately stopped right at the last moment there by yellow. At this rate, only 1 castle left with 60 health out of Gray. So it kind of is the end of the game here. Blue did resign, and then Gray does resign. So here's kind of my overall thoughts. That was definitely a really fun game. I really thought when blue was pushing up at the top here that we were in trouble because orange was pushing the center, and then blue was pushing the top. So definitely a really fun match. We'll go to the achievements. I mean, units lost. It feels like I have the most units lost every game at 870. I don't have a really good kill to death ratio. Maybe I need better micro as well, but you can just kind of see orange was the first eliminated, but they had the most, almost the most units killed. So that's just goes to show how impactful his strikes were when he was fighting. Oh, and then also the best, units converted. That was the most important stat. I was pretty surprised by this. Food and wood was taken by gray. Stone was collected by yellow, and then gold was 50,000. Just shows how much gold was in the middle of the pit was taken by purple. But overall, you see the gold comparisons. We had all the gold in the middle for the top teams, and then we also had most of the relics most of the game. So that just combined kind of whittled down the 3 teams that started at the bottom of the map. Okay, 282%. Pretty high research count out of all players. Let's see. I like to look at gray. He has a pretty high research count, so pretty good at him. Maybe with all the gold that green had, he could have had a little bit more research. You might as well get those upgrades. And I mean, 9 castles out. I had so much stone, I was just throwing it down. It does make sense that blue had all of those villagers, 107, which is pretty crazy, just because how many towers he was building. You definitely need a lot of villagers. Here is the timeline. The only really big spike is right here, the kind of the final push. And overall, pretty good game. Like I said, I'm not going to do any rankings just because it's 2 team games. It's kind of hard. I mean, all the better ranks would probably be in the team that won. But really fun one. And I hope you guys like the next one. Thanks.